Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Unlocked. I am your host, Tracy Wilson, and it's my absolute pleasure to be here with you guys today. Now, today we're going to be talking about, actually at the fourth part of a very special series that I've been doing. So if you've been joining me over the last few Fridays, hopefully you've seen part 1, part 2, and part 3, and today is part number 4. But don't worry if you haven't watched the first 3. I'm going to tell you in a few moments where you can get the first 3 episodes in this particular series, because they all go together. And when you watch and you understand them all, it will start to make a whole lot more sense. So firstly, I want to say, hey, welcome everyone. Welcome to those of you that are joining us from the Success Secrets for Business, Family and Life Facebook group. Always great to have you guys here. Love our community. And for those of you that are watching elsewhere who are not yet in our Facebook group, get yourself on over. Come on over to Facebook. Find us Business Secrets for Success Secrets. Let's get it right. Success Secrets for Business, Family and Life. And you can join us in there. And there's a whole heap of shows that we run inside of that group, not just the Unlock show. So if you want to thrive across your business, your family and your life, well, that is absolutely the place to be. So let's get the show on the road, because I've always got, like in these sessions, I've always got lots of information to try and get it, download to you guys so that you're able to walk away and have some actionable steps to be able to create authority and impact in the world in which you live in. So these shows are also broadcast live. So all of this is live. And when we do that, it means that you're able to also speak to me whilst I'm live right now. So if you want to talk to me throughout the show, you want to make comments, tell me the aha moments that you're having, that is great. I love to hear when you guys kind of have the penny drop moments, and just type to me in the chat box and let me know that you're having those, or that you've got, you just want to say good morning and let me know where you're dialing in from, or you have a question for me. So make sure you throw them into the comment section, and I'll make sure that I address them. But today's show is going to be action-packed, full of information. So like always, like I said, if you've been watching this series, I hope that you have had a pen and paper handy, and that you've actually been taking notes, because I've been giving you instructions step by step, and also some insights into the way in which you can create authority and influence in your space through the authentic brand effect. So that is exactly what this series is called. It's called the authentic brand effect, and it's how to create content that actually connects and builds your authority. Part 4, as I said, is today. So in today's show, we're going to be taking it a step further, and we're going to be talking about how to create your anchor platform to build your own ecosystem and claim your authority position. And you would have heard me speak about the Oprah effect in last week's episode. So that is what this is all about. So if you think about Oprah and the effect that she has, that's exactly what we want to create for you. And that all starts with creating an anchor platform. So as we get stuck into this, I'm kind of going to kick this session off, or this episode off, on a slightly different tangent. And I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story this morning. And I want to start by telling you this particular story, because it is part of the journey and part of the process that I've personally been through. And this story actually starts a few years ago, and it was actually supposed to be the moment that changed my life and my business forever. And as I said, it started about 4.5 years ago. And at this time, I had my business, but, I certainly didn't have loads of money to be able to just, travel around and go to events on a whim when I decided to. So I'd saved up enough money, I'd scraped up enough money to join a high-level coaching program. And that high-level coaching program would actually require me to travel back and forth from Australia to the United States several times a year. And you can only imagine, traveling within Australia can be expensive, but traveling from Australia to America on a regular basis, like I'm talking 4 or 5 times a year, is a very expensive exercise, on top of the very expensive program that I was doing at the time. And during one of the conferences, and if I remember correctly, it was in Phoenix, Arizona, there was a group of about, maybe 800 of us sitting in a room, and our mentor was talking about publishing, and he was talking about how to create how to get yourself out there and how to create yourself a platform. And what he said was, you need to start publishing. You need to start publishing, and you need to start publishing immediately. And you want to find yourself the right platform to enable you to start publishing. And you need to do that as soon as you leave the conference today. As soon as we hit the lunch break, our job was to go out and start publishing. So needless to say that at that time we were challenged to do this, and we were challenged to do a Facebook Live. And our job was to leave at lunchtime, go out into the into the hallways, and find a quiet little space, and we would we would start doing a Facebook Live. And the promise of that was that if we did it for 365 days consistently, that our life and our business would change forever. So, if you've been watching me for a while, I'm a pretty good studious student. So off I went, I listened, and I found myself a quiet little space, and I got out my phone nervously and I hit the big red button that said go live. And our job was to tell a story, to tell something about our backstory, to get people to understand who we were, what we were about, and what our backstory was, how we actually got to the point that we were at, blah, blah, blah. So that was what we were supposed to do. And we were supposed to continue to do that, tell stories and connect with our audience every single day for 365 days. So I started doing that, and I started jumping onto my Facebook page, and I started sharing. And they said, when you start sharing, you want to be vulnerable. They said, be vulnerable. They said, let people into your life. Let them know your struggles, your frustrations, your tears, and your laughter, and teach them stuff. Don't forget to teach them stuff along the way. And as you go, well, you'll start to be seen as an expert. And so anyway, I started doing this, and I started kind of sharing more and more of my life. And I kind of got stuck on this thing, be vulnerable. Well, what the blinking heck does that mean? Am I supposed to cry? Am I supposed to share all my, sad stories? Am I supposed to share all my F-ups? What am I supposed to do? How vulnerable are you supposed to be? Well, I didn't really know. And that was a question that was floating around in my head. So anyway, I started doing it. And, I look back now, and I can smile at some of it. Some of it I want to just friggin' cringe at some of the content that I originally put out, because I was doing all of the stuff that they were telling me to do. Be vulnerable, share all of this information, share a lot of your how-to information. I was kind of going on this journey, and I was doing it ad hoc as Facebook Lives. And I can tell you that after doing that for a little while, I kind of lost my mojo. And I felt really lost. And in some cases, because of some of the content I put out, I was a little bit embarrassed and confused, and hoping that, gee whiz, I hope people don't go, and you're probably going to do this now, people, I know you, you're probably going to go back and have a look back and try and find some of this crazy stuff that Tracy's talking about. And yes, for sure, as I was doing that, the whole purpose of doing it was so that you could put yourself out there. You were supposed to gain confidence and competence from doing it. But like I said, it left me feeling a little bit lost, embarrassed, and a bit confused about, what direction to go in. For sure, it got me some clients, but they weren't really the type of clients that I really dreamed of helping. They were lovely people and great people, but they were not the people that were in alignment with my true calling. So I can see, someone's saying, it's being vulnerable is being real. And I'm sure that they're going to go start looking at some of that stuff. So have fun, people. Anyway, you can have a bit of a laugh on my account. So I found myself doing all sorts of things at that time. So I was out doing a lot of, sharing a lot of content, sharing a lot of, my faux pas, or things that had gone wrong, and in the hope that I would help people to navigate this world. And avoid some of the things that I had, that I had done. But I also found myself that I was making money, and I was finding clients, but I also found myself burnt out, and I was trying to do 1,000 things. Why? Because I didn't have my offer, I didn't have my message, and I did not have my anchor platform dialed in. I was chopping and changing stuff like the seasons, or like you would change your underwear. Hopefully you do that every day, people. I wasn't changing what I was doing every single day, but it certainly sometimes felt like that. It felt like I was like, didn't really have that, one, what we call a North Star. I didn't have that one place that was my anchor platform and my my compass that was telling me which direction I needed to go in. So it was kind of all over the place. And that path, as much as it was painful and it was a lot of trial and error, it actually led me to where I am today. It enabled me to kind of stop for a moment, realize that I had to create these few things that I've been sharing with you over the period of these of this series of the Authentic Brand Effect series, where I have to create my platform, create my dialed in messaging, understand who my dream clients were, and create everything that aligned to my offer. And I realized that at that time, when I was able to do that, it now helps me to work with all the people that I want to work with. It's created an amazing platform for me to be able to create, I've created myself a platform where I'm sought after, that I have become an expert in my field, and that, I'm able to share my gifts with everybody. So I realized at that moment that standing up and just speaking willy-nilly or all over the place wasn't enough. You actually have to be prepared to stand up, speak with a clear message that is aligned to your dream clients and your signature offer, like I've said previously. Okay, so after I kind of went through all of that and I had these aha moments, I realized that I had to create this platform. I had to create a podium that I was comfortable on and that had meaning and purpose, and that allows you to build an ecosystem to claim your authority position. I'm going to show you and teach you as part of this process how to do that for yourself. And that's what I want to share with you today, is how to create the ecosystem and claim your authority position. So like I said, if you haven't watched part 1, 2, or 3 of the series, you absolutely want to make sure that you do. After this, I'm going to make sure that I put a link in the comment section inside of the Success Secrets for Business, Family, and Life, and you'll be able to click it, and you can go back and you can binge watch part 1, 2, 3, and 4 and watch them several times if you have to, so that they cement in your head and that you understand these, you understand this completely. Because when you understand all of this, you will understand that there are some major shifts happening with messaging and distribution, and they are things that are happening now that will prevent you from going through those pains that I did, sharing some of your faux pas that maybe you don't want to always put out there, and also create that really solid platform that will give you the authority and the influence that you need to come out from the shadows and stop being hidden and unseen. So by the end of this entire series, now there's going to be one more, because I'm going to do a bonus series, a bonus episode next week. But by the end of this 4-part series, you're not only going to have the solutions to kind of understanding how to get yourself out there, how to build, how to stand up, how to stand firm, and how to stand out. But you will also have tuned into a life transforming series, because right now is the time to do it. And you will understand all of that once you go through the whole series. You're going to be able to create your platform that can solve problems for people, bring joy to you and to your ideal clients, and you're going to be able to end some kind of suffering that your people are, that your prospects are going through, and you're going to have a message that's going to be able to show them a better way. And you'll tie all of this together, and it will all make a whole lot of sense to you very shortly. So if you want to do that, and you want to do it in a big way, I'm not just talking ad hoc like I was doing before, doing it here and there. I'm talking about doing it in a big way. You need to create a solid foundation to do that on. Like with any business, any success starts with building the solid foundation. This solid foundation is what I call the anchor platform. And it's going to be able to create you a place where you're going to be seen, heard, and followed. Okay, so this anchor platform, when you're doing this, there's a few different ways that you can do it. So you want to think about, what space am I really comfortable in doing this in? And essentially, there's 3 different types of anchor platform that you can create, or ways in which you can communicate with people. The first is you can communicate in the written form. The second is you can communicate with people in the audio form. Or the third is that you can create a platform, or you can communicate with people through video. So right now, my platform of choice, or my vehicle of choice, is doing it through video. Now let's kind of delve into these a little bit deeper and kind of expand these out. So if we're talking about the written form, and all you need to really do is think about, which platform best suits me. Where could I go, and how can I create, my own ecosystem with doing this? And for each person, it is a little bit different. So I'm going to go through those 3 different types, and then I'm going to tell you the one that I think is the quantum leap and has the biggest amount of impact right now, and it's the one that is making a lot of waves for a lot of people. So you've got the written format. So the sorts of things that you would be thinking about if you were going to create content in the written form is you might want to create that via a blog. All right. The other is email, so emailing out to your lists. You might be somebody who likes to write articles, books, or newspaper, or be a journalist and write for newspapers. So those are some of the, not comprehensive, but these are some of the things that you could do that would help you to create a platform in the written format. Now, what I want you to do with this, I want you to think about, if you were to create them in all of those spaces, I want you to think about somebody who is either a journalist or a blogger that I want you to see if you could just rattle off maybe 5 people off the top of your head who are journalists that you like, you trust, and you consistently follow. So I want you to jot them down. And if you can, just type, I don't care if you've got 1 or 2 or 5, if you can, just pop them into the comment section in the video today. So down below, just type them into the comment section and let me know who are the people that like, trust, and consistently follow, who are journalists or bloggers. So let me know who they are. Okay, then we move on to audio. And so we can think about audio, we're listening. So as you know, this show is also, this is also available via podcast. So you've got a podcast would be a way that you could create a connection with people through their ears, through them listening to your content. The other is radio. So I also now want you to do the same exercise. I want you to think about a radio host or a podcaster that you like, that you know, that you trust, and that you consistently follow. Who are they? And again, type them to me in the comment section. So radio or podcaster. All right, so I want you to do that. So that is the second type of medium that you can use. So first being written, second being, some form of audio. Okay, now the third is video. So we're talking things like Facebook Lives. And if you relate that to like the traditional world, because things have changed, we can do things like Facebook Lives, but you would see them as a television commercial, would have been the old way, and still the way today that we're still seeing commercials on TV, but you're seeing them as a TV commercial. Then you've also got things like edited videos. So that you might call that like a movie. And when you think about a movie, it comes out, it has a big bang. So, everybody goes to the cinemas, they watch that movie, and then it kind of peters off and you're waiting for the next big thing. The same with Facebook Lives and television commercials. If you think about a television commercial, what do we do when commercials come on? Unless you're a nerd and like a marketing nerd and you really want to watch and you're wanting to kind of unpick what they're doing in a television commercial, most people, you get the remote out and you're flicking the channels. You're not really paying attention to those television commercials. So they have to be seen over and over and over again to get any cut through. And often that is the same case even with Facebook Lives now. You're on someone's newsfeed for a moment, and then all of a sudden, with the amount of content that is being created, you have dropped to the bottom of somebody's newsfeed and are no longer seen. And then you've got, like I said, you've got movies. They come out, you can create those, and they have a big bang. And then you're waiting for the next premiere to come out. You're waiting for, Pixar or, some, big movie studio to come out with the next thing. So, you often, they then go on to Netflix, and you hope like heck that people remember that cool movie, and you go back and rewatch it again. Some of them, my favorites, I might have watched many times. Okay, so then you've got TV live, you've got television daytime shows. So if you think about television daytime shows, and the sorts of things I'm thinking about is the Oprahs, the Ellens, the Jimmy Kimmels, the Dr. Phil's, etc. They all have a daytime show, and there's something familiar about them, right? They have, I'm going to talk through the specific things that they do that create this really cool audience, and how you can do it too. So I relate daytime shows to live shows just like this. So now what I want you to do is I want you to think about those three types of videos that I have just talked about. So Facebook Lives. Who do you know that consistently does Facebook Lives that you follow, that you like, you trust, and you follow them consistently? Who does that? And think about what happens when you're scrolling in your news feed. Now, the second one is like movies. Who do you watch consistently? Like, is there a particular movie that you would watch that you would go back and you watch over and over and over again? In most cases, most people would watch it a few times. Like I said, I've got some of my favorites that I might have watched 5, 6, 7, or 8 times. I go back and I watch them. But in the main, I watch a movie once, and then you kind of move on to something else. You're waiting for the next big thing. Then think about shows. So think about your lifestyle, and if you are watching television shows, or your audience more so are watching regular television shows, what are they doing? They become their favorites. They watch them on a regular basis. So just think about some shows that you watch on a regular basis that, of people that you like, you trust. And when you do, then after you've done that, I want you to look back at the list. I want you to look back at your list of journalists, bloggers, podcasters, show hosts, etc., and think about which one of those platforms gives those people the biggest amount of exposure, influence, and authority. Which one of those is it? So I'm going to pause for a moment, and I'm going to ask you guys to comment to me in the comment section and let me know which one of those. Is it somebody who is a journalist? Is it somebody who is a podcaster or doing Facebook, a podcaster or doing a radio station? Or is it somebody who has a show? And also think about the influence they have, think about the authority that they have, and then in alignment with that is the amount of money and impact that they make. So which one of those three gives them the biggest amount of influence, authority, and profitability, income? Which one? I'm going to wait for a minute. I know that this takes a little while because it's going to catch up. There's probably a little bit of a lag in the video. So we'll just saw the live stream. So I'm just going to wait for a moment and ask you guys to let me know which one is it. Is it written format? Is it audio format? Or is it video, in the way of live streaming or having some sort of show? Which one of those is it? Waiting for people to answer. All right, cool. I'm sure you're all going to say, when it all comes through, you're going to say the platform that gives you the most amount of authority and influence is video. All right, it's video. And if you think about all of those people that do, some sort of show, so it's video, but there's a subtle difference. So it's not just any old video. It's not Facebook Lives. It's not, jumping on and doing ad hoc stuff online. It's not even creating a YouTube channel as such. It is creating a show. And all of these people, so the Oprah Effect, Ellen, Rachel Ray, Dr. Phil, Jerry Springer, and the list goes on and on and on and on. Millions of people dial into their stuff each and every day. So just imagine if you were able to create something like that too. Just imagine, what would that do for you and your business? What would it do for you and your business? Would it enable you to create authority? Would it enable you to create influence? Would it enable you to be able to speak your message out to millions of people? Would it create that for you? I think you're going to say the answer is far out, absolutely yes. That is yes. There is undoubtedly, that is going to, that can happen if I do that. So this shift that is happening now is not just available for the likes of the Oprahs, the Jerry Springers, the Dr. Phils. It's available to people like you and I. And you've today dialed in to the Unlock show. And my show happens regularly, and people dial in on the regular basis. So I'm going to come back and I'm going to give you the keys to what you need to do to create your own really solid platform. So needless to say, that the platform that I choose to do this with, that has created influence and authority for me, is absolutely a show. And I'll come back to all the things that you need to do to create that in just a moment. But here's what will happen if you don't do something like this. If you choose to stay small, if you continue to choose to be the unheard, unknown, unseen expert, because I know you are an expert and you need to get your message out there. There are people waiting for you. But if you choose not to do this, you will continue to be unheard, unseen, and unknown. You will continue to be lost in the crowd, and you will continually be questioning yourself. Am I doing the right thing? How do I get ahead? What do I need to do? What's wrong with me? All of those questions will continue to rise up. When you do this, when you choose to stand up, to stand firm and stand out, and do that using a really solid anchor platform, the benefits you will get will be huge. They will just keep expanding. So here's some of the things that I can tell you that me and some of our clients are experiencing. So what happens when you do this? You create authority and influence. You will become sought after. People will start asking you to appear on their podcasts, to appear on their shows, to write for their, publications. You're probably going to end up finding your next business opportunities. You are probably going to end up finding partners and team members for your next business and your next opportunity. So if you're sitting back thinking, oh gosh, I need to even create a team with this platform will enable you to create all of these. The opportunities are unlimited with this. You'll also be invited to speak your message on influential stages. So all of this starts to happen after a period of time. And inside of the program that I'm going to teach, I'm going to teach you all these little nuances, all the little things that you need to do so that all of this happens just, as part of what you do, as part of you creating your anchor platform and creating your authority and influence. You're also going to get your competence is going to increase, right? Because you're going to be speaking more often. The more you speak, the more you teach, the more competent you will become. And what breeds, what do you get as a result of being competent? You also get confidence. Your confidence will increase. So as you increase your confidence will start to increase, and your confidence starts to skyrocket, and so will your business and your profits. So if you want to have that instead of, still being stuck, lost in the crowd, or questioning yourself and stuck as unheard and unknown, then you want to continue to follow along with what I'm talking about. So let's get stuck into some of the key things that you need to think about when you're creating a show or you're creating an anchor platform. So the first thing you need to do, whether it's a show or it's it's a podcast or anything else, the first thing you need to do is you need to choose your stage. So I'm talking about choosing, are you going to be doing a live show? Are you going to be doing a recorded show? Are you going to be doing a podcast? And you already know my opinion on which one I think has the biggest amount of bang for your buck and creates this ecosystem that I speak of. You also want to make sure that you set your theme. So you're going to theme everything that you do. Why? Because it makes it much easier for you to create your message and much easier for you to create your content. It will take you out of the space of constantly trying to think, oh my God, what am I going to talk about? I've got to do a Facebook Live today, but what topic am I going to talk about? You create your theme, get very clear on that. Align everything to your dream customer. So you want to be speaking directly to who your dream customer is. And all of your messaging, when you're creating your mission, you want to make sure that you're doing that. And like I said, that comes with creating a very well-crafted message and a mission that resonates with people, a mission that people can get on board with to create your tribe. Then you are going to align your content, the information and the information that you talk about. And I've talked about the 3 different types of videos and information that you can create, being your belief adjusters, your how-to videos, and your connection videos. So you know that those are the 3. You need to create those, and then you're going to align them with your offer. And then you want to make sure that you're doing it, something that happens on a regular basis. So if you think about Oprah or think about Ellen, they do that on a regular basis. People know that they can dial in at a certain time on a certain channel and they can watch that show. That's what you want to do. So it takes you out of the space of being lost and people trying to find you somewhere, because you're no longer doing ad hoc Facebook Lives, but you're actually creating somewhere that people can rely on. They know you're going to be live. They know you're going to show up. They know what they want to learn about the message that you are creating, and you do it on a regular basis at a regular time. And that way you start creating your own ecosystem that allows you to stand up, stand firm, and stand out. Those are the keys to what what you're wanting to try and create. Okay, so we've gone through the benefits. We've gone through what it is that you need to do. I've given you the steps or the things that you need to consider when you're creating your anchor platform. And then next week, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you and teach you how you can multiply all of your content. So if you're sitting here thinking, oh my God, I don't have a lot of time to do all of this, tune in, because I'm going to show you how to do it in as little as 2 hours a week. When you do this, it will create all of the content you will need for every single platform. So earlier on, I spoke about, I asked you to think about blogging, podcasting, writing articles, posting on social media, doing Facebook Lives, and then not to mention also creating adverts so that you can bring people back to your show, your products, and your services. So you want to understand how you can do all of that really nicely, simply, and easily on a shoestring budget, right? Which is really important. We don't want to have to do this. It's going to cost us an absolute fortune. You want to be able to, if you want to do this yourself, you can do it very cost effectively and multiply your content out so that it is all happening for you automatically. So I'm going to show you and walk you through that process that we use to do that next week. So tune in next week, and I'm going to cover all of that up for you then. And it's the show next week is going to be called How to Multiply Your Content to Amplify Your Exposure on a Shoestring Budget, and the system that you need to execute it quickly and easily. So again, if you've enjoyed the 4-part series, we're at the conclusion of part number 4, and I hope you are seeing, I hope that if the only thing you are seeing that out of this series that you must stand up, the time is now. You must create your message. You must get it out there. So that you can continue to, you can kiss goodbye. You can unshackle yourself from the box that you've created and the ties that you've created to being unseen and unheard. We want to get rid of all of those. We're going to sever our ties with that, and we're going to enable you to create a platform where you can become the authority, a sought after authority in your market. So again, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to be back again next week on another episode of Unlocked. Wednesdays is the day that I have guests on my show. So if you want to be a guest on the Unlocked show, I would highly recommend you head on over to metadimedigitalco.com and you apply to become a guest on the show. And I will be happy to provide you with a platform to share your message, because That's what I'm all about, is making sure that people can get out, get heard, get seen, and help with the ripple effect, help millions and millions of people in the process. So thanks so much for watching. Have a beautiful weekend. I'm certainly going to do that. I have got 10 of my most favorite people coming to hang out with me for the weekend. My first 10 of my first cousins, which is pretty cool. So all girls, we're going to have a girls weekend, and I think it's going to be a whole lot of fun. So I hope you guys have fun too. And, go ahead, live your life unlocked, because as you should know by now, there is just no other way. See you next week, guys. Bye.